Your child's behavior is a communication. Your child's behavior is a communication. We hear that all of the time. What is he really communicating? Now, the truth is, if you don't know what your child's behavior is communicating, it's as good as not knowing that your child's behavior is a communication. So there is no point knowing that your child's behavior is a communication when you don't know what your child's behavior is communicating. So today we are going to sit back, get our writing materials, and begin to decode our children's behaviors. What are they truly communicating? Because like I always say, every single time your child misbehaves, they are sending a message to you. And I said to the visionary parents, see, if you do not understand that message, don't respond, because you end up, should I say, responding in a manner that you are not going to like, responding in a manner that will not do your child any good. No wonder at the end of the day, we repeat one thing over and over again in our parenting. We repeat one instruction, we discipline over the same thing over and over again. It is actually because at the foundation, at the bottom of our children's behavior are a message. Until you understand that message, you may not be able to get it right. So today is all about that, and I want to tell you, get your writing materials, your pen, your paper, get a cup of water, because it's about to go down. And like always say, it is one thing to learn, is another thing to take action. If you are, what's happening? Why is this thing? Whoa, oh, sorry, please. Sorry about that. So like I always say, is one thing to learn, is one thing to take action. Learning doesn't make a difference. It is the action that makes a difference. So whatever you are learning, plan to take action. Plan to make use of it. This is how you get the results you desire in your parenting. My name is Elimi Orebo, and this is the Visionary Parents by the Visionary Parents Academy. It's an academy where parents call me, parents register, they get empowered to raise the children they have. They get empowered with the confidence to parent their children, with the knowledge, with the skill, with everything they need to raise their children, especially in this time and age we are. I was talking to a mom this morning, and she said to me, I don't want my children to become somebody's prayer point, you know. Even though, yeah, we've always talked about that. But this morning, that thing hits me differently. I just remembered back then, I had a colleague who would always come to work and be crying all of the time. You know, she would just rest her head on the table and she'd be crying. You will know she was crying, but she would think we did not know she was crying. So we'll ask her, Juliet, what is it now? She will say, I'm just praying. Sometimes I'm tired, I have a headache, but most of the time I'm praying. This is your prayer. You know they finish, you say, no, my mom is not feeling well, I'm praying for my mom. Tomorrow she should be like, my husband has a business deal, I'm praying for my husband. Next tomorrow she will come up with another reason why she was praying, but she was always resting her head on the desk, and we knew she was always crying. So it was one day, I don't remember what happened. We saw her Bible where she had a prayer request. It was all about her husband. Her husband, God touched her husband, God redirected the heart of her husband. Her husband was a chronic womanizer, she's had infection, sometimes she even pray for infection to go. Those were reasons she was crying. So when the mom said this morning that I don't want my child to be a prayer point, I laughed and I said, yes, your child can actually be a prayer point, or God change my husband, or change my wife, or your child can actually be a prayer of thanksgiving. Oh God, I thank you for the gift of a husband you have given me. I thank you for the gift of a wife you have given me. So in the Visionary Parents Academy, and guess what? When your child is a prayer of thanksgiving, the person will bless you. They will pray for you. So in the Visionary Parents Academy, what we do is raise children who will become somebody's prayer of thanksgiving tomorrow. Because whether we like it or not, our children are not alone. They're in a society. They're going to have friends. They're going to have neighbors. They're going to have tenants, landlord, staff, everyone. You know, they're just going to live in this life. They are going to represent different things to different people in this life, and we actually want them to always be a prayer of thanksgiving for someone. Whoever meets them will be blessed. Whoever ever meets them will be inspired. Whoever meets them will glorify God, which is our purpose of being on earth. So that's what we do in the Visionary Parents Academy. If you are not with us, you are definitely missing a great deal. So what you want to do is to ask us now how you can join us, because we are still open for registration for 2026. We are closing this month, which is about 16 days from now or 18 days from now. We wrap up the month. So you can still join us today. You can still join us today and be part of our journey till the end of the year. And I promise you, it is very, very empowering. It's a community where you are not judged and not criticized, where you are responded to, where you gain clarity, you gain confidence, you gain skills to raise the children you have. So today is how to decode your child's behavior, because we are always saying your child's behavior is a communication. You need to understand the communication. You need to understand the message behind that behavior before you start responding to it. If you do not understand the message, you attempt to respond to it, you may get it wrong. So it is why you need to understand the message. Now, children behave differently. The way they respond to different issues are different. And that way they respond to different issues, they may actually just be different messages they are communicating. Now, this morning I shared a voice on the Visionary Parent Academy. I referred to my daughter when she was much younger, how she hissed at me. You know, my time of reflection, I realized that it was because one thing about us as human beings is that we have been programmed. It's not as if somebody just sat us down and programmed our head. Even your children are being programmed every day. What we do every day, what they see every day, what they hear every day, even what you don't do, what you allow every day is programming them. It is shaping them. It is telling them that this is the standard, this is what is acceptable. So the same way we have been programmed to see different behaviors in children, see children behave in certain ways, and we are just concluding, we just label it, we just call it, oh, this child is, we just conclude on our own. So there are so many behaviors children put up and we just conclude, this child is rude, this child is disrespectful, this child doesn't have home training and all of that, without pausing to sit and think about it. You know, and guess what? Because of the way we perceive, you know, perception is everything, you know. The glass half full and half empty. Yeah, perception is everything. If you see a glass half full, it simply means that you're optimistic. You may actually want to say, okay, I'm close to it, let me get it done. If you see a glass half empty, it simply means that you are pessimistic. You are saying, after all my effort, this is where I have reached. Perception. The same thing happens to your child's behavior. The way you see your child's behavior will determine the way you are going to respond to it. So normally, a child hisses as an adult. The child is rude now. You are very, very rude. You lack home training. You are spoiled. In fact, a mom shared in the Visionary Parent Academy this morning how her son hissed. And they concluded, oh, you are following bad gang. You are changing just because he hissed. Yeah, I know hissing is not just because it's a lot, really. You know, but just because a child hissed, they concluded he has joined bad gang, he has changed. So that's perception, that mindset. So my daughter hissed at me. If I was going to be reactive, I would have concluded that this girl has hissed at me. This girl is rude. I know what we do when the child is rude. When the child is rude, want to remind the child that we are in control. Want to remind the child that we are the boss. We are the parents. We want to clip their wings. Is it clip? They want to break their wings. Want to put them in the place they are supposed to be. How dare you talk back? How dare you yell at me? How dare you raise your voice? How dare you hiss at me? That is what we typically would do. So my daughter hissed at me. What did I do? I had to sit back and ask myself, where was that coming from? Because I needed to understand that behavior. Because most of the time, it is not always at its same. And if you have not brought yourself to the level of understanding this, you are always going to respond. Because certain behaviors in our brains have been wired to see certain behaviors from certain lenses. And those certain behaviors, they have certain responses we have also been programmed to give. So when children act in those ways, our lenses quickly pop up and we view those behaviors with the lenses we have been programmed to view them, and we quickly respond. You know, we respond the way we have been programmed to respond. It is almost as if we are not in control. We are not using our thinking brain. It's just about survival for us. The child does A, or when the child does A, the child has misbehaved. When the child has misbehaved, put them in a good place. That is it. Now remember, it's our mouth. We are learning about emotional intelligence, and we cannot talk about being emotionally intelligent without understanding our children's behaviors, because no matter how emotionally intelligent you are, if you are still programmed to see certain behaviors in certain ways, and you are programmed to respond to those certain behaviors in certain ways, it simply means that no matter how calm, how you are able to pause and think through, and how calm you are going back to still respond to that behavior in that way. Or for very many parents, they become permissive. Shebi they said I should not flog. Shebi they said I should not yell. Okay, let me just ignore the child and go. Now this is one of the problems very many people have. They come back to say, intentional parenting doesn't work. Emotional intelligence, there's nothing like that. So when I understood my daughter's behavior, I knew where it was coming from. And I knew that, okay, there was something that was needed that was not, she was not being rude. So first of all, that understanding changed my perception about it, that she was not being rude. After establishing that, I realized what needed to be done, and I put that in place. It is what happens when you understand your child's behavior. You're able to decode the behavior, because every time your child misbehaves or anything, they are actually sending a message. It's not only when they misbehave, even when they behave. If your child goes to school and comes back with an excellent grade, they are communicating something to you. They're telling you that, yes, mom, I'm smart, I'm academically smart. They're communicating that to you. If you tell your child, okay, go and cook, and they go there, they cook the food, everything is all well done. They're telling you, oh mom, I can cook independently. You don't need to come and supervise me. If you send your child on an errand, they go there and they come back, oh mommy, I don't remember what you asked me to buy. They are communicating something to you. Something like, maybe I have struggle remembering, maybe even though I don't really have struggle remembering, I forgot this particular one. If they go there and they deliver, they're also communicating something to you. So what you need to do as a parent is to always learn to pause and find out, decode your child's behavior. What is this behavior communicating at this time of the day, at this time of the year? What at this phase in my child's life, what is this behavior communicating? Truth be told, your child's behavior at infancy, in their kids age, preteens age and teens age, they may respond to issues the same way, but their behaviors may not be communicating the same thing. So let's go into it. Remember, this was brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy. You need to come and join us so that your parenting will be transformed. So let's go. When you have children, toddlers, one of the things I've said here over and over again, because I always hear parents talk about, oh, my child is crying for no reason, my child is crying unnecessarily. Your babies, they are not crying unnecessarily. There is always a reason they are crying. One of the things you can do for your child as a parent, or one of the most disservice you can do for your child, is when your child is crying, you are frustrated and you are yelling, you are smacking, you are abandoning that child. It happens. So I always say, do I blame parents that get frustrated? I don't blame parents. We are not witches. And children, there's no way we understand the language they are speaking. So for that reason, we may not be able to understand exactly what is going on with them. And children, on the other hand, they don't have the right vocabulary or the emotional regulation to calm down and explain to us what is going on with them. So parents get frustrated. It's understandable. I was trying the Visionary Parent Academy also, how on Sunday I saw a parent brought out her phone. I was giving to a child who was crying. Her child was crying, a baby, and she brought out her phone and gave it to the child. And I said, that is definitely not the way, because the child is crying. Okay, just for another day. So your child, they can't even explain what is going on with them. So each time they cry, they are communicating. Oh, mom, I'm hungry. Oh, mom, I'm tired. Oh, mom, I need to bathe. Mom, I feel sleepy. Mom, this place is too noisy. Mom, this place is too quiet. Mom, I'm itchy. This cloth is itching me. Mom, I'm not comfortable here. Can I just lie on the floor? The rug is fluffy. I want to lie on the floor. Mom, I am curious. What color? What is that thing on the wall? I want to see what that thing is. Mom, leave me. Put me down. I'm growing already. I don't like being. I don't like being held. Let me go and play on my own. Mom, you have not hugged me enough for today. I need a hug from you. Mom, you have not said you love me today. Say you love me. Mom, I don't like this food. It is too, maybe it is somehow. They are always talking. I even want to burp. I want to pee. I want to poo. Oh, I've pooed and I feel irritated. I don't like this uncle here. I feel somehow about it. I don't like him. His hands are too big or his hands are too hard. I don't like him. I need something soft. Mom, I just want to relax my head on your body. They are constantly communicating. They are constantly telling you one thing or the other. However, they cannot explain. And even you have no way of knowing. That is one thing about your children, babies and toddlers. Now let's go into so what you want to do as a parent. There's a video I watched one time. It was a show. It was a guest on Oprah Winfrey's show. So the woman was talking about how to interpret children's different cries. My God, she was so accurate. I said she was so accurate because each time a child made a particular sound, and she will look at the shape of the mouth or so, she will say, this child is hungry. And really, give the child food, the child stops crying. She will say, this child, the diaper is wet. I used to have the video in my phone. The diaper is wet, the child is feeling sleepy, the child wants to burp, the child wants to poo. And it was so accurate. Each time the child is allowed that thing the woman said, the child will relax, the child will stop crying. Now the problem is, not everyone has that talent, not everyone has that skills, not everyone has studied their children or studying children up to that extent. So because of that, you don't always know what your child is communicating. So one thing I want to tell you as a parent, please, whenever your child is crying, don't abandon them, don't get frustrated, don't think you have tried everything everything within you. You have not exhausted everything. So what you need to do is to just keep trying, and most times carry them up, change your environment. It could actually be they want change of environment. So everyone is not the same. It could be they are seeing something that they are not feel comfortable with. Some children, when you carry them here, they start crying, you turn them to the other side, they stop crying. It may not be that they're not comfortable in that position. It simply means that they saw something they're not comfortable with. It can even be some children, they are very sensitive when it comes to smell. They smell something they're not comfortable with. It's just a lot going on with children. So what you want to do as a parent, if your child is crying, please don't say, oh, you have tried everything, the child is crying for no reason. There is always a reason for your child that crying. You want to pause, you want to ask yourself, and then you want to begin to see how you can help your child navigate the emotions they are feeling at that time. For younger children, the same thing. For younger children, they can be throwing tantrums because of connection. They can be throwing tantrums because I always shared this particular story. A parent in the Visionary Parent Academy who was struggling with her children during homework. When she joined the emotional intelligence class, she learned that, okay, she should learn to calm down, she should learn to understand her children's behavior. And guess what? That day, she got it. It was as if the purpose of the class that day was just for her. So when it was time for homework, and her children were, as usual, acting up, she didn't force them like she used to do. So she just allowed them. She went to bathe them and she was going to prepare food. By the time she got back, the children had slept off. So because they slept super early, they woke up early. And so she was able to rest too. And the following morning, she was able to assist them with their homework. Everybody went to school, everybody was happy. Now, compared to before, when she would beat them, she would yell at them. And guess what? Like we always do, you are faking sleep. Because you don't want to do homework, because you are lazy, you are pretending to be sleeping. That is usually our pattern. Because we just believe, oh, leave the pikin, they pretend. Oh gosh, a lot of things we say or we do to our children because we are ignorant. So that's about children and toddler. Let's go into preteen and teens. So I said 10 things your children's behavior may actually be telling you how to decode them and how to fix them. So let's go quickly. Remember, we are the Visionary Parents Academy. If you are not with us, you actually want to join us. In the Visionary Parents Academy, I shared the material yesterday. I broke it down. So what you want to do, pick the material that was shared yesterday and look at it. It is going to tell you a lot of the things that I may not be sharing here. You, from your babies, your newborns, to your school-age children, to your preteens, to your teens, what they may be communicating to you that you may not have realized, because indeed our children's behaviors are always a communication. I shared something in the Visionary Parents Academy the other day. I told them how my kids, they usually cook their food to school, so most of the time I come and I mean that they have cooked. Like yesterday now, I shared this on social media, I shared this on Facebook. Like yesterday, they cooked 2 packs of spaghetti, you know. I came to have my breakfast, and it was avocado, pear, and egg that saved me, because it was not one of those days I had the time to go and had the energy to go and prepare breakfast for myself. By the time I got back, these children have finished cooked their food, packed their lunch bags and everything, and what they left for me was like, let it be that we did not leave something for mommy, so let's show care to mommy. That was why they left for me, because it was so small. So they usually cook their food, do their thing. So one of the days last week, my older son was supposed to cook, and I was doing my thing when my daughter came to report to me. And eventually I got downstairs and I realized that, okay, he was just cooking the food, and the base he was making for he was making curry rice. The base he was making for the curry rice was burnt. The onions were burnt. At the end of the day, the thing came out looking like, you know, when you cook Chinese food, you put soy sauce, the brown liquid, you put it inside. You know, it comes looking a bit brownish. That was how the curry rice he prepared looked. What happened was that his sister, even though they take turns to cook, his sister has always been the one cooking, because my daughter is someone that, okay, my son can be hungry and rather not cook. But my daughter is not possible. She cannot be hungry. If she doesn't cook, it means she's not hungry. She cannot be hungry. It's not possible, because she will cook. She's not, when it comes to cooking, she's not tired. You know? So because of that, she's always quick to just get into the kitchen, rustle up something, and they are good to go. Now, however, my daughter is primarily melancholic. You know, they work with mood. So they can be in the mood, they cannot be in the mood. So it happened that day was one of the rare days she was not in the mood to cook. So, and my son had to do his thing by himself. So we have a structure of finishing up everything you are doing by 6:30, so we can do other things before you go to school. Unfortunately, by I think after 6 or so was when he was cooking, because he was waiting for the sister to cook. So he was thinking she'll eventually come around, and that one was not ready to come around. So from everything that happened, when my daughter came to report to me, I was angry, I was frustrated. I didn't like it, because I knew eventually they were going to go to school late. We will not be able to meet our family time. They'll go to school late, and it was just so crazy. This is a 14-year-old boy that I've taught, that has been cooking for how long now? It was so annoying. But guess what? I had to take my time to understand the message that behavior of his was communicating. And like I shared to the Visionary Parents Academy, I noticed that one of the behavior was entitled. He was beginning to feel entitled to his sister's help. Even when I came, I was asking, what is that? He was saying, Nene did not help me. I asked her to come and do this. She did not do it. She was supposed to do this. You are the one in the kitchen. So you are dragging your feet. You are feeling entitled to your sister's help, which is supposed to be a privilege. I realized that he has been feeling entitled to his sister's help. I realized that even though they take turns to cook, I have not paid attention to whether he has been cooking consistently or not. As long as they were done cooking, it was good for me. So I realized that is me on my own part. I have not promoted consistency. So, and it may also be that he was not confident that he could cook it. That was why he was, there is something. Parenting is a lot, so it's a lot. When we talk about raising children that are confident, I always say it happens in doing. It is not about you just writing affirmation and telling your child, oh, go and start learning affirmation. It's about letting them win, succeed in small things. And guess what? If you have a child who is quick to act, who is quick quick to do, who is quick to run around, and you have another child who is a bit relaxed, there is every probability that that child who is relaxed will end up being relaxed most of the time, because the child who is quick to do will not give them the opportunity to do. At the end of the day, that child who is relaxed will not grow they will not grow in confidence, not because they don't want to grow, not because you have not even created the structure, because you have not paid attention to how your home is run. You running of your home. So the child who is quick to will just be everywhere. Just in the case of my daughter, she does everything, anything she can just even sit down and say, okay, a couple of meals we cook in this house, she just came up with it, because she's the kind of person that she doesn't like, even in her dressing. I was telling a mom the other day when we were talking about dressing, how our children dress. She was complaining about her son always wanted to wear one particular cloth. I told her something. I said, it is a way for you to even understand your child. It's a communication. If your child is picking one particular cloth, you want to look at, is it because of the color? Is it because of the texture? Is it because the cloth is easy to wear? Or is it because she thinks, oh, the cloth is the finest? Or because that's the kind of cloth the friends wear? Or even their my favorite cartoon character? You know, it is a way for you to actually understand your child. So for my daughter, for example, she's not someone with so many like, should I say, protocols or procedures. You know, she just like to do her things quick. Even in the way she dresses. She rather just slide in and go. Tell her to come and wear ball gown, to come and wear shoes with heel and come and be doing. She doesn't have that inner conviction, you know. But as she grows older, she's a girl. She will learn all of that. You know, those are not battles we fight. We just keep teaching, and as she grows older, she's going to learn all of that by herself. Okay. So what am I trying to say? My daughter is just someone that just wants to like rustle up something. So she is quick to cook, she's quick to eat. I tell her that breeze doesn't enter your stomach. She's quick to do that. So because of that, she's always in the kitchen. She's always cooking. She can just wake up and just think of snack. There's one snack they make in my house. They'll take flour, they'll mix it with peanut butter, and what is it called? If they have milk, they'll put milk. If they don't have milk, they'll use peanut butter and sugar. If they have sugar, they'll put sugar. If they don't have sugar, they'll put flour, peanut butter, and mix it together. I don't know how they do it. I've never been there when they do it. But when they bring it to me, I taste the peanut butter inside, you know, but it's too floury and I don't quite like it. So she does that. That's how much she tries to put things together just to make something, you know. So because of that, my son is hardly ever cooking. And I did not pay attention. So I just felt, they're always cooking. So he's always in the kitchen and all of that until now. So it could also be that, okay, he did not have the confidence to even handle the cooking himself. That was why he did not handle the cooking. He was waiting for his sister. So after waiting, he realized the sister was not coming through and he had to go to school and he must take food to school. He just had to go to the kitchen. With that anger, he put the thing on fire and he just threw everything inside. At the end of the day, this base he was making got burnt and he went ahead to do everything like that. I was able to decode all these things, like being entitled to his sister's help, like being entitled to his sister's help, like which other one did I mention? Maybe not having the confidence to cook. I mentioned 3. I was able to decode all of that because of one simple thing I employed. Because I was not reactive. Because when my daughter came to tell me, I was angry, I was upset because time was going. I usually come down, they are just done and we are good to go. So I was really upset. But because I understood it, I knew that it wasn't necessarily a misbehavior. It was a communication and I had my fault in it. Now this is it. Every of our children's behavior are a communication. They are a communication. So if we need to understand the messages they are communicating before we can jump up to respond, because if we don't understand the message, we'll not be able to respond effectively. So let's go. Number one message in your child's behavior: I don't know how to. I do not have the skill. This is one of the commonest reasons children do not, children do not meet up to expectations. They do not know how to. Somehow, as parents, we just expect our children to be able to do certain things. We just feel, oh, they have seen us do it, or we feel, oh, they are grown. We hear things like, at your age. A teacher was telling a teenager in church on Sunday that at your age you can't cook, you can't do anything. Teenager said, yes, I can't do it, so I can't. He was not asking her, can you even boil water? We're laughing. So I asked her, what can you cook? She said she can cook jollof rice, I think noodles. She's a teenager, she's in university. She cannot cook any other food. So, and we just expect, because she's a certain age, she should. How? An only child that is pampered, an only child that they don't allow to do anything. How will she be able to? So we just expect them to be able. Even the mom will start nagging, at your age, you can't do this, you can't do that. Brothers and sisters in the Lord, how is she supposed to know how to do things if she has not been taught? No, age does not teach. Age does not teach. Age is not a teacher. What is a teacher is experience. Age is never a teacher. It is experience that is a teacher. So if she has not learned to cook, if she has not cooked, if she has not experienced cooking, how will she know? She can be 120 years, she still will not know, because age is not a teacher. It is experience that is a teacher. So we expect our children to know certain things. Very many things, our children, very many things. It is actually because they don't have the skills. Because when we talk about having skills, skills come with other skills. You want your child to sweep, they are not sweeping thoroughly, you are upset. It's actually because they don't know how to sweep thoroughly. Yes, they don't know how to sweep thoroughly. That is it. So now, sweeping will now require you to teach them how to sweep thoroughly. Excellence. And then we learn by repetition. We learn from natural consequences. We require you to send them back. Go back. At a point when I was in Lagos, I had to write how to do dishes, how to kitchen. We had to write it and put it somewhere in my kitchen. So if you are the one in the kitchen, what you do, how to do your dishes, how you wash it. Because my 9-year-old, when he was much younger, when he wants to do dishes, he would just take the dishes, wash the inside, and drop it in the bowl, in the basket. So by the time you want to take the dish, the oil, if the dish had oil rubbed at the back, the oil will be there. If it's soup, then the soup will be there. Sometimes you think, oh, they are watching me, they are looking at me. They may naturally not be paying attention. They will be looking at you, they are not paying attention. And again, there are some children that they don't learn by job. There are some children that are like, they learn. They have is it, what do they call it? Is it magnetic brain? Magnetic brain, we call it. Just by looking at you, they learn. I saw someone the other day was talking about how somebody made a dress for her, and the person got it perfectly right. The person did not take her measurements. How she said, I don't remember. She was talking about it. She was talking about somebody made a dress for and was perfect. The person don't take her document and measurement, but the person got it right. There are some people that are that. They have this magnetic brain. Once they see, they are good to go. But there are some people like me. I don't have magnetic brain. Oh, I will have to feel. I will have to associate. I will have to. That is how I learn. That is how some people learn. So if you have a child who learns the way I learn, you may now want to patiently teach him, teach her, teach them in detail. Sit down, patiently explain. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. Patiently explain to them before they will grab it. Then you cannot put them, go and do it. Even at that, they will still make mistake. You will send them back, go and do it again. They will make mistake again. You will send them back, go and do it until they get it right. Repetition is the mother of learning. Before you say, okay, you have gotten it. There are some children that they just grab it now. They grab it. So first thing is, they don't have skills. Very many times our children don't have skills. So because they don't have skills, they are not confident that they can do it. So they won't do it. Sometimes I don't have skills look like refusing to do chores. Refusing to do certain chores. It looks like avoiding homework. This one is quite common. We know this. When children bring out their homework, they just do some and they leave some. Why are you leaving some? I don't know it. I don't know it. I don't understand it. Or once they get frustrated, they pack it up. It looks like meltdown during task. When they can't do it, they don't know how to do it, they start throwing tantrums. Meltdown during task, homework or small tasks, they start throwing tantrums. Not that they are stubborn or they are misbehaving, it's because they don't know how to do it. Children do this a lot. If you have kids, small children, you will know this. When it comes to homework, when it comes to tasks, when it comes to different things, you will see them. They will not only throw tantrums, the person around them, the person beside them will hear from them. If they have siblings with them, they'll be angry, especially when they don't know how to regulate themselves. It can also come up in I said I can't. Ask them to do something, they are quick to say I can't. So even if you like, start telling them I can do everything I set my mind to. They can't and they can't. You know. So now it is why at the end of the day, some of these affirmations, they don't work because our children are not convinced. You are telling the child who doesn't have skill to do a particular thing, you are telling the child that, oh, I can do everything I set my mind to. Then go and do it. When they've set their mind to doing it, they go there, they still cannot do it. Make it make sense. I've said here before that affirmation is not a way we raise confident children. It's part of it, but it is the least part of it. Okay, so how do you handle these children? You teach the skills step by step. You break tasks into smaller pieces. You practice together. You encourage efforts and not just results. So the next one, the number two is I need structure. Lack of routine, lack of expectations, they are certainly one of the messages our children's behaviors are sending to us. Please, I don't know, I'm not seeing any messages. These are nobody sending a message or nobody is chatting or is not just showing. So if you are here, send a chat or just use the like or love button. Let me know someone is here with me and I'm not just talking to myself. Okay, let's go on. Thank you. Number two is I need a structure. This one, like structure, the way we behave, a culture in our home. We've talked about structure. Last month was about structure. You need to go back and read some of the things and watch some of the videos we shared here on structure. If your home doesn't have a structure, your child is going to behave anyhow. Now, if they behave anyhow, you are going to not behave because they are rude, not behave, I don't know how to put it, not behave anyhow, anyhow. Because you don't have structure, anything goes. So when you come back, you are triggered by one thing they have done, one decision they have made that is against the rules you have set. Okay, let me give you a practical example. You say, don't watch television at so and so time. Now your child is watching it. You are angry that your child is watching it. The truth is, if you don't have a structure, if you have not been consistent, you have not implemented it over time, your child will go and break it. So when your child misbehaves, you want to ask yourself, do I have a structure? Just like I shared the story of my son. I wasn't consistent. That's the pattern. I was getting results. I wasn't bothered about the processes. I wasn't consistent. That is structure issue. Part of it was structure. So I wasn't consistent, that is it. If you are not consistent about a particular thing, if your mood is driving you, because our mood drives us a lot of the time. You know, when we are happy, we say yes. When we are not happy, we say no. Now, this is why one of the things we do in the Visionary Parents Academy is to give parents my family constitution, our family constitution guide. So your mood does not drive you. We talk about structure. We create our structure. When we finish this emotional intelligence, next month we are going to go back to our family constitution and finish it, hopefully. When you have your family constitution, when you have your structure, your mood does not influence your decisions, your responses, or anything. It's just like the Nigeria constitution. It is spelled there, it is there. This is what happens when this happens. This is what happens when this does not happen. It is spelled out there, so everybody knows and everybody follow. So when you don't have a structure, your child is going to misbehave. They are going to test boundaries. So sometimes their behaviors are, we do not have a structure. In my house, anything goes. Anything goes. And guess what? Because your mood influences you, the day you are not happy, you react to their behavior. The day you are happy, you don't react to it. So one of the messages your child is sending is, we do not have a structure. We are not sacrosanct. We are just an anything go kind of family. How does we don't have a structure show up? It shows up in forgetting instructions, constantly testing limits, choosing chaos during daily activities. Yes. Now let's go to constantly forgetting instructions. Yes, because there's no structure, there's no guide, there is nothing. If you have a structure is, each time we talk about creating structure in a Visionary Parent Academy, I teach about how to stack, how to create your structure in such a manner that, let me give you a practical example. In my house on Sundays, my kids know that we are not doing television. On Sunday is their television time day, free TV day. They can watch movies, they can play games, they can do any other thing they want. They know that they are not watching television until they are done. We don't prepare breakfast to school, to church. We come back, we prepare breakfast. So we eat, we tidy the kitchen completely, we tidy everywhere. Everything they need to do on that Sunday, they get it done. So by the time it's 2, 3, they're watching television, no problem. No, that's how we've stacked it. We don't do our chores before we go to church. You get back from church, you do your chore, you prepare food. While the food is on fire, you do your chores and everything. When the food is ready, you eat. After eating, you do the dishes, you tidy the kitchen, you put it in a ship shape. Then you are free to watch your television and do anything you want to do. That is it. Now, because it is a structure that we have used over time, they are not forgetting any part of it. So even when I'm not home, I don't need to be at home. One other thing they did is they have them arranged in their alarm system, in their phone alarm. So when the alarm goes off, they know, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. When the alarm goes off, they know this is what we are supposed to do. So they remember. So now they don't use the alarm again. They just remember. Once it's 6:40, for example, on school days, it's 6:40. They know that, okay, it's goal setting, is this one, and that is what they want to do, because we have used it too many times that their brains have now come to be used to it. That is it. So when your children keep forgetting things, keep forgetting what they are supposed to do, like a child that knows that when I come back from school, I wash my socks. After washing my socks, I eat a light meal, I do my homework. If a child does that consistently, they will not forget. So you are never going to come back and say, you have not washed your socks, you have not cleaned your shoes, you have not done your homework. So if a child keeps forgetting instructions, forgetting what they are supposed to do, it means one thing, that you don't have a structure. Your structure is not effective. That is a message that particular behavior is sending to you. Another behavior is constantly testing your limits. When you tell your child no, they still go behind your back to do it. When you tell your child no, they are throwing tantrums, they are trying to make sure you give in. It simply means that you don't have a structure, because structure means no is no and yes is yes. And this is why I say you just don't wake up from nowhere and create a structure. Your structure is influenced by your vision. And of course, you know that the path to your vision are your values. So your structure is influenced. Your structure is a breakdown, the daily breakdown of your values. So they're not something you just manufacture from your head. No, there are things that are so important to you that they are not negotiable. For example, if you have a house and you have visitors, you tell your children, I don't want you to go into your visitors' room. You don't have any reason going to the visitors' room. When you have visitors, don't go there. It is actually because you have a reason for that, a strong reason for that. If there's a consequence for it, when your child does that, you are going to carry out the consequence. Not because it is a random thought, but because you have a strong reason. Or you tell your child, maybe you are a parent like me who is strong on discipline. So I tell my children, when you get things, maybe someone gives you something, and maybe it's a family member or something, you are not eating it. You are bringing it back home to show me, show your mom, show your dad, and before you take that, we are going to say, oh yes, you can take it before you take it. You know, it is not because now that is a part of our structure. It's not negotiable, not because we think, oh, people are going to poison our children or anything, because we are teaching them discipline to hold back. You have it in your hand, but you are not tempted to eat it. And it is not just that one thing, it also reflects in very many other things we do. Discipline. So because we know that the value behind that behavior is discipline, we want to make sure that we implement it every single time. It is sacrosanct. It is not negotiable. You must show it. Now, if it was just a random thing, you sometimes it's okay. It's not okay. So when your child begins to test your limits, one of the things you want to check is this thing, have we built this thing into our family system? Have we been consistent? Do my children understand why they are supposed to do this thing? Or we are just, maybe my mood determines it. If I'm happy, I say no. If I'm not happy, I say no. Like I tell my children that when during holidays, I hear parents say their children are eating 1,000,001 times. 1,000,001 times they come to eat every now and then when they are on holiday. I tell parents that your child is eating 1,000,001 times during the holidays because your child is bored. That is it. One of the reasons why children eat often is because they are bored. They don't eat that much in school. Why don't they eat that much in school? Because in school they are busy, they have activities. From classwork, they have to go to the playground to play, they have their friends, so they are not bored in school. So they just eat 2-3 times that the school allows them to eat. They are not bored. But when it comes to the house, they are bored, So because they are bored, they actually want to be eating all the time. So for me, I tell my children that no, you don't cure boredom with pleasure. Like you are bored, you have a brain. God has given you a brain. You are bored simply means you are not putting your brain into use. So you are not going to tell me, Mommy, I'm going to eat. 1 hour later, I want to eat. 2 hours later, I want to eat. It shows you are bored. So we have the number of times we eat in our house, and it is sacrosanct. Like it's not negotiable. So even when they come and tell me they want to eat 1,000,001 times, no, it's not allowed. Not because I'm hoarding food, but because I have told them that. Because when you now realize that, okay, you are bored, you start looking for you start looking for, instead of you to put your brain into use and make yourself no longer bored, create entertainment for yourself. Growing up, we used to do a lot of, I think there's something we call Omobaba in Benin City. In Benin, back then in Edo State, where children will now bring some maybe sand, things, you put it in a pot, in a tin. Then we used to do like tin tomato, put it on fire, make believe fire. You start saying you are cooking, somebody comes to start buying. We're creating place for ourselves. They will have cartons. We see what we can do. We make cars, and also the boys will make cars. The children, the girls, most of the time, they will sit down. They are selling things or mobile, something like that. We're bored. So that is it. When you are bored, put your brain into use. So when you now tell your child that no, food is, because when you begin to say, okay, use food to cure your boredom, what are you telling them? When they grow up, they are bored. They are going to look for pleasure to cure their boredom. It is why they'll go to beer parlor to start drinking. It is why, because they are bored, any girl that passes in front of them becomes their speck, because they are bored. Even some girls, anybody that passes in front of them becomes their speck, because they are bored. So that is it. Your structure is a reflection, is a breakdown of your values. Like I said, sorry about that. Okay, so when I was saying, when your child's behavior communicates structure, it shows in chaos, money. You realize that you go to school in the morning is chaos. You are fighting, you are running late. Every time is one drama or the other. When it's time for school run, it simply means that you don't have a structure. It's time to go to church, is one drama or the other. You are running late. You are being chaotic. It simply means that you do not have a structure. Because if you have a structure, everybody. Let me tell you what structure does rather. Your children know what they are supposed to do, when, how, where, and everything. It is settled. It is fixed. For example, you have your detergent for washing. There's a place it is. So your child is not going to wash. Mommy, there is no detergent. So that is not part of it. So I tell my children that yes, structure means being organized. Your family, your home is organized. Even I tell them, even your room, you want to structure your room in such a manner that everything has a home. I ask them, have you ever seen me look for salt? Have you ever seen me look for seasoning cube? Have you ever seen me look for onions? One to who we are looking for one thing or the other. We don't look for, because every single thing has a home. That is structure. Peace, orderliness, ease, it just makes your home run so smoothly. If you are there's constantly chaos in your home over activities or running against time, know that your structure. So it's not like, oh, my child is misbehaving when I want to wake them up in the morning to school. They are misbehaving. Come and brush. They are misbehaving in the morning. They are looking for their socks. They are looking for their bag. They are looking for this thing. Like, it simply means you do not have a structure. If you have a structure, I can't remember the last time my kids ever looked for something in the morning. No. Because for the longest time, I've taught them plan down, structure. There's a particular time in the evening. When it gets to that time, everybody goes to plan down. So we go to do our revision and all of that from 6:30. So before that 6:30, surely before that 6:30, they know that what they are supposed to do. Plan down, sort out your things, your water bottle. Most times you don't fill their water bottle until the following morning. It doesn't take much of their time. But singlets, pants, socks, cleaning of shoes, polishing of shoes, belts, they will have to sort them out so that tomorrow, once they are ready, everything just goes in and they are good to go. So structure. So chaos. If you have chaos during activities, you know that you don't have structure. How to decode it if you have structure issue. If you have structure issue, if your child is communicating structure, how do you respond to it? You create routines: morning, homework time, bedtime. You teach your teenagers how to structure their lives, how to create routine. It simply means how to create time for everything, time and space for everything. You give clear instructions. You repeat expectations calmly. You use visual reminders for younger children. So even your younger children, use visual reminders. Then for your teenagers, you teach them how to create structure for themselves, how to structure their own life, what they are going to do, when they are going to do it, how to have boundaries, how to even look out for friends. Just teach them all of that. Number 3, someone or something is influencing me negatively. This is it. Sometimes children misbehave because someone or something is influencing them negatively. What does behavior look like? Sudden attitude change, yeah. New disrespectful language, yeah. Risky behavior, yeah. When someone is influencing your children. We moved to this place about 3 years ago, less than 3 years ago, or just within the neighborhood of 3 years ago. And of course, I know how much this place has influenced my children. Some of the things, the other day I was telling them that your English grades are not very impressive, because I expect your English grades to be excellent, 100%, or at least very impressive. You come here and the kind of English they speak here, you have learned it and you have just mastered it so much so that you are not missing your tenses. So when your children begin to show new attitude, different attitude, they begin to maybe use certain languages, then you know that this environment, something is influencing my child. My child is not ordinarily like this. Because even when your child is growing, growth does not, your child will mature. They will mature along the line of their influence. Because if they don't know it, they don't know it. If they don't know how to use a particular language, they don't know how to be rude. No matter how much they mature, all they will do is probably to be expressive, to be more confident in who they are. That is it. So, but when they are being influenced negatively, they'll pick from here, pick from there. You are going to see it. So as they grow, they will now have the boldness to begin to use those languages or behave in that new influence of theirs. So that is it. You see them being disrespectful. You see them, the sudden change in attitude. You see them, there is some behaviors, risky behaviors. You will know that this child is being influenced. How do you respond to it? You stay curious instead of accusing. Ask questions. Seek to understand. Know more about them. What is happening to them? Their new environment. Ask them constant questions. Encourage them to keep journal. I'll come to that. Ask questions. Where did you learn that from? Monitor their friendship and social media. Teach critical thinking and value. So I was talking about ask them questions. If you want to know more about them, encourage them to keep diaries and journals. And look at it. When they are not there, look at it. Diaries and journals. Encourage them to write letters to God daily. sit down and write a letter to God. When they drop these things, when they are not there, you go and see it. You just want to know where their influence is coming from, so that you can create your own teaching, so that you can go and teach them critical thinking. I think I've done this video before. Information evaluation. Teach them that not to just take anything hook, line and sinker, to be able to ask questions, to be able to now pause and reflect, evaluate. I'm teaching my children the importance of pausing. The other day I was telling them that when something happens, you pause. When you pause, you don't just pause in emptiness. You pause and you think it through. Whatever you are getting, the information you are getting, just oppose it, or rather, yes, place it beside the information you know. Ask people that are more learned, more experienced than you. Ask them questions. Look at the information, because your classmates, your mates, your friends, many of them don't know better than you do. Because you even have an intentional parent, you may even know better than them. So always think through before you just join into trend or start copying. 4 is I am copying what I see, behavior that is being modeled to me. Very many behaviors that our children exhibit, we the parents, we are the one modeling it to them. Our home, our environment are modeling it to them, and we do not realize it. If you are a parent, you are careless with your words, there's every likelihood that your child will be careless with their words. If there are parents you are constantly yelling, there's every likelihood that your child will constantly yell. I've shared this story 1,000,001 times. One time, there's a woman close to me. So I went there. I went to the shop close to her, and her daughter, I think about 10, much more younger than the older daughter, she was just insulting the older daughter. The other daughter was about 14, 15 or so, within that neighborhood, maybe 16, I don't remember. She was insulting that one. Okay, I think she was about 8 or so. She was insulting that one. It became too much that I had to step in. And so the neighbors told me that that's how the mother also insults the elder sister and the oldest child. The mother, if you hear the mother talking to the child, the oldest child like this, you'll be wondering. So I had to see the mother one day like that. She was not like, this girl, don't mind her, she doesn't respect herself, she misbehaves. I told her something. Yes, because they told me that they had been trying to correct the younger one, stop her from insulting the elder sister. So I told her something simple, that you are trying to correct your younger daughter from insulting your elder daughter. It is not going to work. As long as you keep disrespecting your elder daughter, as long as you keep using those insultive words on her, as long as you keep yelling at her, giving her those public embarrassment, forget it. Your daughter, your younger daughter is watching and she's learning. It's just a fact. Maybe when she grows older, she may not begin to say, oh, my sister. But now, even then, is when she decides to unlearn and relearn on herself. I say, but now, no. She will insult her shaggy, even when she doesn't choose to, because you are teaching her how to not to regulate your emotions. You are teaching her how your daughter deserves to be treated. You are teaching her the proper way to respond when you are maybe faced with issues. So that is it. Sometimes our children, they behave in ways that we have modeled to them. We don't realize it. You say, oh, they are lying. They lie a lot. My child is always lying. You want to pause and ask yourself, okay, what is encouraging them? Lying can be instinctive. Lying doesn't always have to be a learned behavior. No, lying is not a learned behavior. There's a psychological angle to lying. It's not a learned behavior per se, but is a reinforceable behavior. So you can tell your child, oh, lying is good, because children lie for different reasons. Sometimes to escape punishment. Everybody wants to escape punishment. Nobody wants to be punished. So because of that, they want to lie. They just lie even to protect you as the parents. They don't want you to feel bad. They don't want to disappoint you. That can make them lie. Yes. So those are not learned. They are natural. But when you as a parent, you are also lying. You are telling them lying is okay. Because when they have those instinctive lies, they can actually learn better and say, okay, even if I do something bad, I do not have to lie to cover it. Integrity goes a long way. Let me get punished. It is better I get punished than to lie and no one is able to trust me again. But when you also lie, and we like small, I tell parents that have shops, that run all these especially retail shops, what you can do, always say the truth. Like, seriously, because your kids are watching. If you must lie, make sure your kids are not there. They are learning. You see them, you go and buy something, and the next day they'll say, madam, no, this thing I bought it 1,000 naira, I cannot give you for more than one, I can't give you less than 1,2. Another person will come, they'll tell the person, I bought this thing 1,3, I can't give you less than 1,4. The same item, your child is there looking at you. Okay, sometimes it's good to lie to get what you want from people. And guess what? They want to get what they want from you, and so they will lie to you. I don't know if you are getting it, because you've taught them it is good to lie to get what you want from people. So now they want to lie to you to get what they want from you, and you are upset. Make it make sense. You taught them. So sometimes children copy us as parents, what we do, and they learn from that. Let's go. Okay, what does it look like? It looks like yelling. If your child is always raising his or her voice, you actually want to ask, is that how we communicate in this house? Is that how I've been communicating? Aggression. If you're always aggressive towards your spouse, towards your own children, you may not be aggressive towards a particular child, right? But we have this thing that our last borns, we pamper them with egg, the last born factor, pamper them and all of that. You may not be aggressive towards your last born, but I tell you, if you're aggressive towards your first child, second child, third child, they are learning. It's not about you coming. I say to my children, yes, I was telling them that every single time you behave, you are communicating. You are not just communicating to the person in front of you. You are communicating to people, everybody around you. Something happened yesterday. I went somewhere. I went to get something. I went to my mother-in-law's place and I needed to get something. The thing was actually mine, and she helped me out with everything. So I was supposed to get it from her. So I told her, okay, you are going to take a certain portion. So someone came, I was helping us do the thing, and the person was just like, she actually thought she was doing my mother-in-law a favor by giving my mother-in-law a very much larger quantity that we agreed on. So, and when I was telling my husband, I said, because my mother-in-law was involved, it was not a big deal. I just chilled and let it run like that. But I made the man know that I understand what happened, and she was trying to justify, no, it's not what you think. It is because of this, it's because of that. I said, it's okay. So I was not telling my husband. What she doesn't realize is that this woman that does business with my mother-in-law, she just thought she was trying to favor my mother-in-law. But what she doesn't realize is that she has sown a seed. This woman can cheat. This woman can manipulate. I shouldn't trust this woman. So even when she comes to my mother-in-law and tells her, oh, this is what is it, this is what is it, that my mother-in-law may not take her words hook, line, and sinker. So I always tell my children that you are always communicating constantly, not just with the person you are talking to, but every single person around you. Because you are teaching them how you behave, how you act, who you are. So that is it with our children. Sometimes you feel, oh, we are not aggressive towards a particular child. Even when you have nannies, you have house helps, you are not aggressive towards a particular child. You are not aggressive towards your own children. You are aggressive towards them. You are teaching your children generally how to respond to people. That is it. So, what did I say? Okay. Yelling, aggression, disrespect. Yes. If you talk to children disrespectfully, if you talk to people around us disrespectfully, our children are going to learn that too. If you feel, oh, my child doesn't have healthy self-esteem, they may even learn that from the way you interact with people around you. If you show poor emotional regulations, your children are learning from that. So I shared a video the other day in the Visionary Parent Academy, the video of the two children wanting to fight. They were so aggressive towards each other, and somebody was recording them, and the person was also telling them, was also using some of the languages they were using. They were asking each other, are you mad, are you crazy? The person recording them was using those languages. So what do you expect? So definitely the children must have learned those things from their home. So that disrespect. I shared something one time. I went for a function like this, and there was this woman and her son, her teenage son. I don't remember what the teenage son was going to ask her, and the boy just raised his voice and was yelling. at the mother. I was like, really? How dare you, dare you? Guess what? Not up to how many minutes, the mother also wanted to ask the boy a question. That was how the mother was yelling, lascive, like. I was like, really? So if you say this thing calmly, the boy will not hear you. If the boy says this thing calmly, the mother will not hear you. That is it. He has learned from his mother how to yell, how to make requests aggressively, how not to communicate calmly. So sometimes it's what they are used to. So we just the onlookers, we are the one that feel irritated. It's their lifestyle, what they are used to. Unfortunately, they will struggle when they now get into this bigger society, because life does not revolve around the boy and the mom. The problem is now communicating with people will not be a problem. If they don't meet people like them, they may lose valuable friendships. They don't meet people like them, they may lose valuable friendships. Okay, let's go. So I said, yes, emotional dysregulation. If you are not emotionally regulated, remember, you are the emotional thermostat of your home. So you control the emotional temperature of your home. So if you don't know how to respond, properly with emotional intelligence to issues in your home, your children are likely going to learn from you, and they are going to act like that. So when it comes to relating to you, even their siblings, their emotions are going to be off the roof. So how do you respond to children when you notice that they are copying you or the environment? One, reflect on what they are saying. Reflect on what you are saying. There is something I always say, that whenever my children behave, especially my daughter, I actually want to look at myself in the mirror, because she tends to copy me a lot. So I want to look at myself in the mirror, like, okay, this is a reflection of me. Am I the one doing this thing without realizing? I talked about hissing this morning. I gave a short story of my daughter when she was much younger. She was about 5, 6. I don't think she was up to 7 when it happened. I shared it. So you, as a parent, you want to ask yourself, is this a part of me? Is my child learning from me? Did they learn from me? You want to ask yourself that question. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to learn to model. If it's aggressive behavior, you want to learn to model calm communication. You want to apologize to your child. Okay, you are doing this thing, is not right. I never really saw that it was not right until you started doing it, and you learned it from me. So I take responsibility, but I'm sorry, I'm going to do better. Then you teach better alternatives. You can even make your child your accountability partner. From now onward, what we are going to do is we are going to learn to communicate more calmly. We are going to learn not to break each other's boundaries. We are going to learn to trust each other more. So you be my accountability partner. Let's work on this journey together. Each time you see me raising my voice or being aggressive or just doing one of the things that I said I will not do, call my attention to it and I'll go back. Each time I see you doing it, I'll call your attention to it. Let's do this for 1 month and see how it goes. That is it. Okay, let's go. Number 5 is my body is not okay. Sometimes children behave because they have needs, physiological needs. They have needs, biological. They have needs, hunger, tiredness, illness. Sometimes we just assume that children are misbehaving. Sometimes it's actually because they have needs that are not being met. They are hungry, they are tired, they are ill. Children are humans. They are human beings, for the love of Christ. All the things we go through, they should also go through it. I remember during the COVID time, my children's school, they will always say that you can't come and pick them without wearing the face mask also. Very many times, I will get to their school before I remember my face mask is not with me. Sometimes I'll have to go back home and bring my face mask, because so at some point I had to buy a pack and put it inside my what is it called, that thing? Pigeon hole in my car. And guess what? Very many times I'll still come down from the car, I'll walk to the gates before I'll not remember, my face mask, my nose mask, I'll go back and pick the nose mask. So if it was a child that was doing that first time, second time, we think the child is misbehaving. Meanwhile, the child is not misbehaving, the child is just being human. So sometimes children misbehave because they're actually tired, they are hungry, they are feeling not well. So what do? What does it look like? It looks like they are easily irritated. It looks like sudden meltdown. It looks like difficulty in concentrating in classroom. Remember this book, The Gifted Hands? Is a book we read at the beginning of this year. Ben Carson was struggling in class a great deal. His grades went from F parallel to D when he got his glasses, which simply means that his struggles were not because he was olodo, he was dull. He was just an average regular student. That is what he would have been if he had had his glasses on. But because he did not have glasses, so seeing the blackboard was difficult for him. He would have to strain his eyes to see. That affected his grades. He did not realize it. If not that the school had an outreach, they came to test some medical outreach came to their school and they tested his sight. The school, the parent, the mom, they probably would have concluded that he was an olodo. Now imagine all the effort his mom was putting. If he didn't get glasses, he still would have been in vain. What am I trying to say? Sometimes our children don't misbehave because they want to misbehave. They have a need that has not been met. So how do you respond? You check their basic needs first. If your children are young children, food, sleep, rest, like the parent I shared who talked about how she used to have issues with her children during homework time. It was always chaotic until she experienced us at becoming an emotionally intelligent parent challenge, and she decided to give it a try. She realized that these children, now tired them, they tire all along go. She now learns better not to force them, to actually let them to understand their needs before going ahead. Maintain consistent sleep and all of that routine. Avoid difficult conversations when your child is exhausted, your child is tired, you know that they are visibly tired. Avoid certain things that will make them, that will further stress them, because you cannot bring out the best in them when they are tired. And because you are not bringing out the best in them, you see it as a misbehavior, you begin to react to it. I don't feel good about myself. It's the sixth one, low self-esteem. One of the reasons why children do what they do is low self-esteem. What does it look like? Easily giving up. They don't want to try. What does it look like? Negative self-talk. What does it look like? Avoiding challenges. How do you respond to it? Notice their efforts and progress. Give responsibilities that build competence. Avoid constant criticism. Speak life into their abilities. We have spent a lot of time here, so I'm just trying to wrap up. Another reason why children misbehave is they want approval. They need validation. So because of that, they want to show off. They are seeking attention. You see them, they want to please their friends. They want to go with their friends to places that they are not supposed to go. They want to do things that their friends, they will make mistakes because they want to please their friends. You know, they are showing off. You see them, like there's a boy in my class, in my church. What does he do? When he comes to church, he wears his belt in waist level. Every time we are always fighting. Wear your belt up. Sometimes I help him. Sometimes he tell me the belt doesn't fasten more than this. One excuse or the other. It's just showing off. Me, I know that his idea, his own is just to show off. You know, some children that don't have self-confidence, they have low self-esteem. They want to make up for their low self-esteem by showing off. They want to they are seeking attention. They want to be popular at all costs. So showing off, attention seeking, exaggerated achievements. How do you respond to that? Offer positive attention regularly, celebrate character and not just performance. Spend one-on-one time with your child. Number 8, I need to feel capable. Your child may be communicating to you that they don't have self-confidence, and it is going to show up in the things they do, the choices they make. For example, you can have a child, assign a task to a child. They will not willingly want to do it. They will drag their feet. You can think, oh, my child is just lazy. My child is nonchalant. But it is not really about laziness or nonchalant. It's about they don't believe in themselves. So they believe that I cannot do it. I will embarrass myself. So they don't want to try at all because they have the fear that they will go there and embarrass themselves. What does it look like? They avoid new experiences. Sometimes we say, oh, some children don't easily warm up. Sometimes not easily warming up for some children can actually be lack of self-confidence. It's not as if they don't easily warm up, but they are not self-confident in themselves. They don't believe they'll be received well. They don't believe they will shine. So that will now show up in they don't easily warm up. They depend on parents. They want to ask you. You tell your child, I expect you to take initiative. They are not taking initiative. Sometimes it's actually because they don't believe in their decision. They don't believe in their judgment. They lack self-confidence. So because of that, they are always depending on you or people around them. And I talked about, was it in the Visionary Parent Academy I talked about? So one of the silent reasons that cause I think it was here today, lack of self-confidence in children. They fear making mistakes. I'm going to make mistake. They fear making mistakes. Some children will tell you, no, I will be cleaning, I will raise my notes too much, I don't want it. Sometimes we think, oh, this children is just a perfectionist. It may not actually be the child is a perfectionist, actually be that the child lacks self-confidence. How to respond to it? Allow age-appropriate independence. Encourage problem solving. Let them try before stepping in. Let's go. I want to control my life. This is another major one, especially for teenagers, even young adults. They want to be in charge. They want to be independent. They feel, oh, it is my life. Let me be in charge. You are hovering around too much. You are always controlling my life, and you don't even know what I want. You are just disturbing me. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going this way. I'm not, because it is my life. I know what I want. They actually want to be in control of their life. What does it look like? Arguing. You advise them. You make decisions for them. You are arguing. They say no frequently. They keep pushing boundaries. They want to test your limits. They want to do something. It may be a way of saying, I want to be in charge of my life. Get off my back. Let me be in charge of my life. I can. How do you respond? You offer choices. Instead of commands, you offer choices. How do you respond? You allow safe independence. Whether your child is a toddler, your child is older, allow independence. How do you respond? You involve them in decision making. Even if the decision is for their best interest, you want to involve them in the decision making. You want to come together. Like I shared the story of my son, how he cooked a bad curry rice. Not that it was tasty, still tasted good, just that the color was not very nice. At the end of the day, I realized something that, okay, this boy was feeling entitled to the sister's help. This boy may not have confidence that he can actually cook the curry rice and all of that. So what did we do? We decided that was a message. So it was a message we were going to look at. We're not going to attack him. He was innocent. It was a message that has been communicated that I was going to work on. So on my own, I just said, okay, you have to learn to manage time very well. Which means you have to wake up early, even earlier than you are supposed to wake up, so that you can manage your time very well. So that even if you have to stay till 6, you have to spend 1 hour wasting time, you will still be able to cook the food well. And then we need you to know that you have a responsibility. Your sister does not owe it to you. So you are going to cook food for us from Monday till Friday, consistently, on your own. Nobody helps you. Then you are also, yes, that is also to build your confidence that you can cook it. So what happens? So this morning, I said to myself, no, I want this boy to take this thing for 2 weeks. So I didn't want to impose it on him. So I went to, even when I said that to him last week, I didn't bring him in. We didn't have a collaborative problem-solving time. So I was the one that just told him that. And when he was like, he wanted to throw tantrum, I explained to him, it is not a punishment. it is for you to develop in these areas you are struggling with. So explanation, he got it. And I said, okay, I'm ready to help. What area do you want me to come in? He said, okay, I want you that whenever I am going to the kitchen to cook, you are going to join me in the kitchen. I said, fantastic, I understand that, because we live in a duplex, so we sleep upstairs. So that means you have to come downstairs alone. That early morning, wakes up to 5, he has to be downstairs alone in the kitchen. He may feel, no, I want someone to be around me. I said, fantastic, I'll be there. That is what I can get. So this morning I had an idea. I said, okay, why don't we, because 1 week may not be enough, so let's make it 2 weeks. So in this 2 weeks, you are going to learn to, for example, this morning they made fried rice to school. He made it, it was very nice. So you just made it only once. Next week again, maybe we'll make fried rice on a Tuesday. On Tuesday, you will make it again. That way you have built your confidence in fried rice. Like today, like you didn't finish cooking on time. So next week, you know where the area the area you did not manage your time well today. Next week, you manage your time well in that area. You know what to do. So I said, okay, like yesterday they cooked spaghetti. So you finished super well. That was fantastic. There was no issue with that. So if you cook some certain food today, you repeat them next week. Where you made mistakes this week, you learn, take your lessons and implement your lessons next week. You get better at it. What do you think? And he said, okay, it's a good idea. I didn't have to force it on him. I felt that was it, because today he did not manage his time very well, because there's a way they cook their fried rice. So it's not the regular quick ones. There's a way they cook it. So he was doing this one. Sometimes he would put something on fire before he would now go and bring what he's supposed to have brought first, when he was supposed to just put everything down. So that was it, because I was asking him, okay, why did you spend so much time? He was not telling me when I was supposed to. I put oil on fire before I remember that I have not mashed my garlic and onions, so I have to turn off the burner. I have to prepare my garlic and onions. I have to come out, all those kind of time. So now that he has learned it, so next week he's going to repeat it. I didn't have to force him. We just talked about it together, because he knows that it's not punishment. It's actually learning for him. So for your child, if you realize that, okay, they are trying to they want to be in control, you can actually invite them in to work on the problem together. What is the behavior? Put effort together in finding solution. I tell you, they are going to run with that solution that you came up together. Number 10 is, I feel overwhelmed. Too much emotion, too much pressure. Sometimes children react, they behave because they are pressured, because they have a lot going on with them. And very many times we do not realize it as parents, because we don't realize that children are human beings. I always say to parents that, see, the way we go through a lot of troubles every day, wahala, you experience one betrayal, you experience one disappointment, you experience one struggle. It is the same way our children go through everything. Even you experience one regret. Oh, if I knew I would have done this, if I knew I wouldn't have done that. The same way they go through these things every day. So the thing is, the way things get to us, they overwhelm us emotionally. It's the same way things get to children and overwhelm them emotionally. Fortunately for us, we are grown, we are able to manage our emotions to an extent, but they are still children and they are not able to manage their emotions like us. Even when you have teenagers, their thinking brain, their prefrontal cortex is not grown until research has it that girls, 23 or thereabouts, while boys 25 to 27. So what does that tell you? So they are not fully able to regulate their emotions. They are not fully able to use their thinking brain. So very many times when they are overwhelmed, it's just like a child. They go to school, they are tired. Maybe they wanted to play football. Their mate did not say, maybe say, you are not part of this football team, or you didn't pay for this football. You are not paying. They feel disappointed. They go. Maybe they raise up their hand in class. They want to answer a question. Their teacher will not answer them. They feel, but I know this question now. Why did this teacher not answer it? They feel disappointed. Maybe they open their food in school. They want to eat. The food is so cold and they are so hungry. Somehow they just manage to eat. Sometimes they cannot even eat it, Maybe they even want to eat. One of their classmates just coughs there, and the child feels easily irritated, can no longer eat that food. They come back, they are weak, they are tired. Even for teenagers and adults, it won't be that they see a child in their class, the child is just coming first, and they are wondering, why is this child coming first? Why can't I just come first? A lot of things bother them. So they also feel anxious, they also feel nervous, they also feel depressed, they feel sad, a lot of things. So sometimes they have these emotions inside of them, and because they cannot control their emotions, they respond. They are snappy, they are angry, they are not responding. They just, because they have these big emotions inside of them. So because they are simply human beings. So what does it look like? They cry easily. Even some adults, they cry. Me, I cry when I'm overwhelmed. Oh, when I'm overwhelmed, I cry. They cry easily. Withdrawal. Some they withdraw. You see them looking up. It's not as if they are just tired. They are overwhelmed. They are exhausted. They just want to relax, be in one corner. We always say that teenage years, some of the signs of puberty is that your child may want to withdraw. That withdrawal does not always be, some of this is not always about hormone, that is affecting them. It's actually about, now they're independent, now they're understanding themselves, now that they know what they want, now they're actually understanding life, everything now becomes overwhelming for them. So sometimes it's just like they're unconsciously reflecting without even realizing it. Anger outburst, it happens. You see some people, they are just shouting any small thing, they are triggered. They shut down, they don't even want to talk about it. These are what it looks like when your child feels overwhelmed. Emotional pressure too much. It can even be expectations. Maybe they are giving work in school and they are just thinking, I remember my sister-in-law, when she was with me, she was going to a fashion school back then in Lagos. So one day she was coming home from the fashion school, because usually she would take a bus from the school to my junction, and then she would not take a keke to the house, tricycle. My daughter says auto rickshaw, so let me call it auto rickshaw. So she would not take an auto rickshaw from the junction to the house. So that day she said that was the first time she was learning how to sew bustier. I don't forget it till today because of her experience. Said she was learning how to sew bustier. The man, it was a proper fashion school, so the man did the sketching, did everything, and taught them. And in her head, hi, will she ever learn this thing? After all the hundreds of thousands my brother paid for this thing, will I ever learn this thing? Will this never stick to my head? That was how she forgot her bus stop she was going. She got to one place and she looked around. The place didn't look familiar, and then somebody was saying something. No, wow, she was not like, I've never heard this bus stop before. She now had to tell the conductor that, see where I'm going to. See where I'm going to. Before they now dropped her there, she now had to go back. She took another vehicle, and then she go back to my junction, and then she had to walk home because she didn't have enough transport again. So what am I trying to say? Children can actually get overwhelmed. They are just teaching them in school, and the teacher just introduced the topic, and the child is like, long division. How am I going to learn this thing? This thing is difficult too. Hey, that thought may even overwhelm the child. So when they get home, no be you they do them. They might be looking at you and they are not seeing you. What they are thinking about is even that thing that happened. That is what they are thinking about. And maybe you are a parent who have always used their academic performance against them. You've always yelled they are not doing well in school, or they struggle, they don't pass a particular course or exam. You have used it against them over and over again. So they cannot share their struggle, what they have in mind with you. They cannot share with you. So they are just thinking about it. So that can affect them a great deal. So, it makes them cry easily, they make them withdraw, makes them burst out in anger, and it makes them also shut down. What can you do? How do you respond to your child feeling overwhelmed? Help them name their emotions, what they are feeling. Teach them calming strategies, breathing, taking space. Reduce pressure if possible. If your child is overwhelmed somewhere, what you can do is actually to reduce the pressure that is coming from the home. Become emotionally available. Always stand by to be their emotional support when they need it. These are 10 things your child is communicating to you. These are not all. A lot of other things. Your child can be communicating to you, I'm not mature enough to handle myself. Your child can be communicating to you, I'm easily peer pressured. Your child can be communicating to you, dear mom, dear dad, I don't trust you. I don't trust your leadership. They can be communicating to you, I'm not convinced that this thing you are saying is true. I'm not convinced that I should go to church. I'm not convinced that I should not wear half clothes. I'm not convinced that I should not tell a lie. After all, what's it called? Reno Mockery, Daniel Mbawala, or whatever his name is. They are all being rewarded for lying. So why are you now there telling me that I should not tell a lie? Your child may be communicating. They communicate. Like I said, my son, one of the things he communicated to me was, I'm beginning to be entitled to my sister's help. So the entitlement mentality was setting in. So your child is constantly communicating, and you cannot know it if you are not emotionally intelligent, if you're not able to evaluate yourself, if you're not able to pause and understand exactly what is going on. This is why becoming emotionally intelligent is not even negotiable in parenting. And guess what? If you don't know what your child is communicating, you are going to assume. And that assumption is not even from your reasoning. No, you're not wearing your reasoning brain. It is from your survivor brain that has been programmed in you to see certain behaviors in certain ways. You have a lens through which you see your child's behavior. So once you see it, it has been programmed. Not you thinking, is this true? Could it be true? No, you were programmed. So you just see it, and you have been programmed to see the behavior in a certain way. And you also have been programmed to respond to that behavior you have seen in certain ways. So when a child behaves like this, the way you have been programmed to respond, you respond like that, which may eventually not actually be what the child's behavior is communicating. Now, this is why you cannot correct a behavior, that particular behavior, if you have not brought yourself to the level of being able to calm down and evaluate that behavior. And it only takes you to be emotionally intelligent to be. One of the things I always say to parents, I saw a video yesterday, I saw a photo yesterday that a child was beaten, flogged, a teenager. All her last year had marks. The teacher, they said, it burst out of the school, flogged her. And I'm like, in this era of social media, in this era where people literally go about with phone, not even camera now, glasses have cameras, wristwatches have cameras, buttons have cameras, even lipstick we also have cameras, even we also have chips. Maybe that's where the CCCs will come from. People also have chips they implant on their forehead, and they will capture everything you are doing. Their contact lenses also have cameras. Maybe our earrings we also have cameras. Where you have cameras everywhere, before you say Jack Robinson, you see yourself on social media, you see afford not to be emotionally intelligent. Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? When you know you will not even make a mistake, you will be captured and put. They see the local government that happened, the local government chairman. I'm even wondering what the man was thinking. The girl that could take her phone and record the school, you now feel you go to us and beat her up, she will not record it and put it on social media. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. So this thing will not just affect you. People will note it down and use it against your children. Because the time will come. I remember when I was going to get married, my uncle said to me, ask my mom, have you gone to the husband's place to check? Your husband have you gone to their place to check? So a time will come, we'll not need to go to the husband we'll just go to social media and check. Enime Orwebo. This is Noel Orwebo. Then you now go and check me, Enime Orwebo, all the things she did on social media. Okay, I've seen them. Okay, she is good. My daughter can marry, my son can marry. People want to employ, they will not even check it. They are going to check. Enime Noel Orwebo. Okay, Enime Orwebo, the mom. Let's see. The mom was her. This era, you cannot afford not to be emotionally intelligent. Thank you so much for joining today, and this was brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. The Visionary Parents Academy. You need to be with us and see what we do. Imagine if you experience this on the free platform. Imagine what you will experience if you are inside the academy. We are not closed for the year yet. Our registration is 84,000 naira only. We are not closed for the year. However, we are closing in the next 20 days. Today is 10th. We are closing in the next 20 days. So you can still join us today. And everything we have learned so far, you will have access to them. Access to everything we have learned so far, all the materials we have used. If you even want all our daily voice notes, you will have access to them. And then you are going to be you are going to be guided on how to start your parenting journey, all the structure, the family constitutions, everything we have used, even becoming emotional intelligent, it is something that is ongoing in the academy, because it's an integral part of intentional parenting. You can't parent intentionally without, you can't parent intentionally while you allow emotions to run you. Nah. If your emotions are in charge of you, you realize that you are just going to make decisions, make choices that will sabotage you big time. Because we are a visionary parent, we are a parent with a vision, and we are working towards that vision. We know the children we have, and we are constantly equipping ourselves and preparing them towards that vision. And for that, you need to be emotionally intelligent. So it's something that runs through the academic day in, day out, year in, year out. So yes, thank you for joining. Send a message on how you can join us. And remember also, we have the self-leadership class coming up in March during the Easter break, where we mentor and coach your preteens and teens to lead themselves. In this time and day, we can, oh gosh, on Saturday, my kids and I went somewhere. So when we were going, I was telling them some of the things. I told them, I wish I had mentors. I wish I knew then 1% of what I know now. I was telling them how ambitious I was. I was telling them some of the things, how I was smart, how I was trying to put my smartness, my creativity into use. Unfortunately, I didn't know anything. I was not mentored, I was not coached, I was just figuring out a lot of things on my own. And do you know what happens when your child keep figuring life on their own? Because if they figure life on their own, each time they figure out life on their own and they fail, it is a brick away from their self-confidence. Self-confidence is built by winning, and it is depleted by failing. So each time you leave your child to figure life on their own and they fail, their self-confidence reduces, whether we like it or not. We talk about the likes of Thomas Edison, how they did a 2001 times, because they had a backup plan, they had other things. That light bulb they invented was just something like, oh, my hobby, something I come to do, so I'm just playing, I'm just experimenting, not really something. Because the main thing they do, each time they fail, you see, a lot of adults today, we don't even know what we want from life. We lost our authenticity. A lot of the reasons is because we do not have self-confidence. I was telling my children that if I knew 1% of what I know now, I told them a lot of the things I was trying to do. They were surprised. Yes, when I was in university, I tried doing this. Before I got into university, I tried doing this. When I was in my secondary school, I was trying to do this. I had no guide. I was just allowed to figure out my life on my own. So please, you cannot allow your child to figure out their life on their own in this time. Not in this time when the devil is roaming around looking for who to steal, who to kill, and to destroy. You can't allow your child. So I encourage you, from preteens, when they are small, begin to direct them, channel them, give them mentorship. They give the advantage of mentorship. You know, you may not have all the money legacy to leave for your children. You don't have the big buildings to leave for them. You don't have the big capital to leave for them. But I tell you, helping them understand the purpose of what they are on earth, helping them understand, learn the skills they will need to achieve their purpose on earth, it can be the greatest legacy you can ever leave for your children. You may even leave big, stack money for them, leave big buildings for them. And guess what? All that will be a waste. If they don't have the right skills to manage those things, they will waste them. One of the best gifts you can give to your children is the gift of mentorship. Mentorship. I'm not saying this to you because the Visionary Parents Academy has a mentorship program. No, I'm saying it to you because your children need to figure out their life, and they can't do it on their own. And you may not even know everything. You don't know it all. You don't know it all. I have a child in my class in church that belongs to a mentorship program. He behaves differently. He's self-led. He's responsible. He's reliable. He's 14. The way he behaves, you will know that this child is not listening to his mom or dad's voice alone. And guess what again? Sometimes I teach things and he doesn't know. He's asking, like, auntie, excuse me, ma, you said this. Like, things I expect that he would have just learned from his class that the parents pays over 100,000 for every year. I expect they would have taught him. He will ask me questions. He will come and sit down. He will be asking me questions about it. What does that tell you? It simply means that if his parents don't know everything, if the classes he takes, they still don't teach him anything, and you don't put you want to teach everything. You cannot teach everything. Your child needs mentorship, not your voice alone. That boy, why will he not stand out? He attend a good school, he takes mentorship, he hears me every day, because if you follow me, you know what I teach my teenagers. Oh, even me, I envy them. I wish I knew them, or had someone like me that taught, that is teaching them, that taught me then. So please, the Visionary Parents self-leadership mentorship class for your preteens and teenagers is already open for registration. I think early bird is 10,000 naira or so, and normal registration is 15,000 naira. I think it's for 2 weeks. I'm not sure now, so I'll ask the coaches and they will give me the information. And next week, Tuesday, I'm going to share the information with you. Please ask your teenagers and your preteen, register them now. It's one of the best legacies you can ever give them. And the courses we have, the course outline, I've seen the course outline. I must tell you, it is really, really empowering. Thank you so much for joining. Remember, the Visionary Parent Academy is open. You can still send us a message to join us for this year. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.